So this is the basic recap of the whole presentation. It's almost like 50 plus slides. Wherein the whole presentation or the storytelling takes like how Kauravas or Pandavas fought and what were their strategies used, how did they win the war or how did they lose the war. The whole comparison is been done, and finally we can we can align all these points based on that story. So here storytelling will be done by me. How interactive it is like just to pull the attraction of the students to the basics, because this is the start where we are trying to explain to students what is management, and not just by the definition. We would like to pull them with a renowned story as well. There are lots of other PPTs or lots of other examples wherein we can come up with a story and create it as an analogy for the same. Okay. So getting back to our PPT, that is one method I've used here, and yeah. So the other topics of this subject is like functions of management. There are four main functions wherein planning, organizing, leading and controlling. Even staffing can be taken as one more function, but it acts as a sub-function of leading basically. So here planning, I wanted to start planning, to explain. Firstly, we'll go with the basic explanation and take up a case study. This is one sample case study what I've taken. Tata Nano, you people will be knowing, like it was in 2004 that Ratan Tata decided to come up with a car which is costing only $2,500 or 1 lakh rupees for any simple common human being who would like to or wish to own a car. So that was his plan, and it started in West Bengal. Girish Wal was the basic designer of the car, and everything was implemented in 2008. Even they started production, and there was launch of car also. But there were issues with respect to regulatory act, wherein Land Acquisition Act was it was broken basically. They had acquired almost 797 acres for the plant or for the building of the plant basically. So that is when like protests happened, and they finally had to move out of move out of West Bengal to Gujarat. And here there was a problem because the sales was started to increase, and they had to break up their machinery, the plant or production process, and they had to shift. And that is when Modi came into picture, who was the chief minister during that time. He just messaged Ratan Tata saying Suswagatam, and that is when they had to shift. And the whole shifting and rebuilding the plant, wherein if you look at they took 28 months to build in West Bengal, whereas within 14 months they built the whole plant, and the production was started within 14 months, and within just 1.5 years they came up with a new version of new Nano was launched, and it was also available as to a small case analysis. This would be the interaction part wherein students will get to know what is the case all about. It has been discussed. There will be handouts which will be given to different teams as such. So they will be given time to analyze the whole case study and come out with a case study. Just a brief or a sample analysis what I've done here. And to go ahead with that, organizing, the second topic. Organizing is all about how do you organize any activity. So for this, the methodology or technique, what I would like to use is with the permission of the management, I would like to conduct a small intra-class management fest, wherein teams are done. So they would be talking to their seniors or juniors or different verticals of financial students, and there is a small management fest conducted. The students are actively involved, wherein they start with identification of activities, what are activities to be planned, how do they go out with it, departmentally how do they organize the activities, classifying authority. This is one big issue which comes up, because everybody is of the same cadre. So ego issues, attitude issues come up, so that has to be faced. So they get to know about that, coordinating between authority and delegation. So this is one technique which can be actually used. So Going ahead with the next topic, that is leading. I would like to take up with the technique of video session, wherein different top leaders could be taken on videos, could be downloaded, shown to the students, wherein the students are asked to analyze what were the critical parts or what were the situations where the leaders, how did they fall. Talk of Steve Jobs itself. It is up and down scale what he's seen in his whole career life, to say. So how did he gain back? What were the learnings? What are the learnings which can be taken from his life story or from his career life as well? So this is one activity what I would like to add up. And staffing, as I told, it is a sub part of leading. The technique used, we can conduct a role play wherein group discussion, personal interview can be added, which will be an added advantage with the technique. And apart from that, the students will also get to know about the different roles which are supposed to happen in staffing or recruiting somebody, what is the activities to be followed. And if possible, again, field trip, as Satya sir was telling, if possible, we could take groups to different consultancies. If we try with Pramod sir or Ushna madam, so that we can get contacts for consultancies as well. And the last is controlling. For this, I would like to, this is control process and all. So, article or news review, this is one major thing what I would like to put up, because people from Cochin or Kerala would know this. Every day or any day and every day there will be one labor issues or labor union issues which would be popping up, and that is one thing which can be taken as a case or a situation analysis or an article review, wherein different authors or different professors or people who had visited that place come up with a new idea what is happening and how can it be controlled. So this is situation analysis or a news review or an article review which can be given to the students, so that they can come up with their own, there will be time given to them, go back, do some homework, come up with a basic review, and this will be a group discussion conducted, and they will be talking how it can be controlled, or what are the strategies which can be taken by the companies to control the whole issues. So this is all about it. And teaching methods, yes. These are the basic from Madhu sir had already put this on your PPT for yesterday and presentation. These are different techniques which can be used.
And talk about Socratic dialogue.
Sorry, sir. It is a single line. I think today Satya sir had already done that. Ratan Tata's one single liner or a Socratic dialogue put up, and you start explaining with that one single dialogue, you start explaining the whole topic or the subtopic as such.
That's how Socratic is all about asking questions.
That's right. You, with one single line, you start up with all reviewing and explanation.
I thought he was completely useless.
Sorry, sir?
Socrates. Socrates is wide.
Okay.
Because all he did was kept asking questions. Okay. Yeah, finally got poisoned.
These are the techniques which were used. I had this doubt, every other technique, we can give all 5 parameters connected.
Yeah.
Inquiry, discovery, confidence building, self-assessment. All the activities will be involved with one or the other parameter. To start with storytelling, this is more of discovery for the students, wherein inquiry doesn't come up because I am the only person who's delivering. It is a monologue which is happening, but activities can be pulled up with that also, storytelling. But discovery is mainly what is happening, and self-assessment can be done which is linked to some review with respect to that story. Like the recap, what we did, can be done by the students to prove it. And case analysis, this is, yes, again, it's building confidence.
Sorry, I think this is an interesting slide.
Sir.
Are these related?
I didn't finish.
What is that technique you are
He is talking about in each module what technique
yes,
is
I know.
used.
talking about that. Thank you. Are you saying management, that topic is best taught through storytelling? Planning is best taught through case analysis. Is that what point you're making?
Yes.
That's what I'm asking you. So organizing is more from send the guys out with a team of guys.
Outbound activities to do that.
Okay, and leading is through video.
Videos, or if you could get some experts from the industry who are like, there are.
So explain staffing and role play. How does that work?
Role play, here the students are given a task of like, there will be one recruiter who would be pulled out from the students itself. Others are asked to prepare their resume, put up to the consultancy. It's basically a consultancy kind of environment created wherein other students come for group discussion or personal interview. The whole process of staffing should be followed in the whole activity.
How does controlling a news review, how does that happen?
Controlling, I just gave an example of articles. That's what news review or article. I just gave a small example. With respect to Kerala, the labor issues which are pulling up.
How is that controlling?
It is an activity wherein students are given news articles or asked to come up with news articles or different other articles wherein they see issues happening with respect to management or with respect to company. Different companies.
That's management. Controlling how is happening. See, I find this an interesting slide and it kind of matches your paired something technique. I found the controlling and news analysis I couldn't relate.
So industry relations has a lot of examples where we can get it from news review, like Hero Honda, Bosch in Bangalore, Bajaj had a fire. How did they overcome it? How do they quickly come
issue
back?
and solution, how they handle the situation, that they will come to know through the news reviews of particular issues.
Especially for that.
So Maggie incident will come back.
Yes.
But it's not controlled.
Controls. Yeah, I mean, they are coming up with a new solution. Currently, the noodles market is going down.
Maggie may not be related to this controlling, because this to do with management.
Yes.
So we need to make those distinctions, right? When you're saying controlling, monitoring your workforce and ensuring that.
This for controlling again, we can take the same example. Noodle market is like coming down. AP Noodles came up with a new advertisement saying that we are totally certifying our noodles with no MSG.
Sir, Anil Semia said that, sir. Seriously. Anil Semia, it's a famous South Indian product. They say don't trust noodles, be Indian, buy Indian. Seriously.
I got it. I'm just saying from admin theory and practice perspective.
Yes, sir.
We need to make a distinction because it's about planning, organizing, leading.
True.
And to teach that, you have that.
Definitely.
So controlling is, I don't think, anything to do with what's happening to Maggie and the brand. Isn't it? Of course it affects the employee because 1,500 of them have to be moved out from Maggie and put in another department. But it doesn't really come into your IR situation here, right? Which is more controlling.
It is basically a review which is done wherein we take students' opinion. There have been small groups done, group discussion happen up. So they come out with their own respective ideas, like how can it be controlled? How can the situation hold it?
Any other questions? Thank you.
So
yeah, sorry.
which of these techniques you actually say that it will instill the quality of self-evaluation in students?
Self-evaluation, one outbound activity, role play, wherein they are totally involved themselves with respect to all the activity and they will be evaluating themselves. That is, they go through the whole process. It's not by teaching, it is like they're learning themselves. Then we start there. Then you can link the same thing. We link the activity with the chapter. So,
Just an addition, with the video, leading especially, we always see the success stories. Now there is a shift happening for the past 2 to 3 years. It's been happening. That failure cases are very popular because, like sir also mentioned, strategy is more about what not to do than about what to do.
Yeah, somebody was talking with respect to entrepreneurship.
Yeah, exactly. Even then,
2 years, 5 years, the first 2 years they see some growth, and after 2 years the companies are closed down. 2 to 5 years they close down. People who sustain about 10 years, they normally sustain or grow basically.
And bringing a personality to conduct a lecture also,
Yeah.
if they are willing to share their
Yeah,
ideas,
panel of experts.
why they failed.
Yes.
Amazing.
That could be.
Your presentation not complete?
That's
There's some, we have one more slide in the end?
That was questions.
Oh, that is questions. Okay. This is an inquiry. Okay. So if I have a question, slide is there.
I have just one thing. I mean, storytelling is something which is an extreme. Why do you need PowerPoint when you have to say a story? My because there is a classic example where there is a story about a frog that somebody talks about, and then he has these exclamation marks that he actually multiple typed. So he kept pressing and said the frog sits by the thing and because he was reading off the text, and then he said jump to the well. So I think one story, like we all learned about values and behavior and culture from our grandparents and parents and stuff. How? They all talk to us. So I think while it's an extremely powerful thing, I don't know whether you all listened to Dev Patnaik when he talks about mythology. And I always tell Dave, he's a good friend of mine, and I always tell that when he gets into the act, he just becomes the character. And there is no way but to listen and take something back from him. So I think storytelling extremely powerful for management concepts, anything, especially to drive down values and stuff like that. But I think you should try and stay away from science. Learn the story, link it, have it, and talk to the story. Be part of the story. And I think that's the only way to get it.
This was just a sample.
No, I'm just saying, because I've seen that mistake being made, and you're saying, okay, you're going to tell me a story, and then it's slide after slide after slide. So you're kind of
Concentrating there.
you're not picking up that.
Yeah, talking about visual, audio.
See, this is the only slide he had in mind until we told him what was expected. Then he added the others. So there's that, I think I read it, it's there in the corporate dossier every Friday. Very interesting, especially since you got